Anglican chant is used to sing the unmetrical texts of psalms and canticles from the Bible by matching the natural speech rhythm of the words to the notes of a harmonised melody. A chant is a sequence of chords in which a melody appears in the upper line of sound. Chants can be single, most often double, but also triple and quadruple. The music you've heard at the start was an example of a single chant because it covers a single verse. Chants are traditionally written using semibreves and minims, but the actual note values we sing are dictated by the words and not those written. Some choirs learn a chant by singing it to numbers like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Note that although I would normally sing the tenor part in a choir, for all the demonstrations in this video I will sing the top line. That's the treble or soprano part. The first and fifth notes of a single chant are known as reciting notes because they usually carry the majority of the text. Hence they last much longer than the musical notation suggests. The earth is the Lord's and all that therein is, the compass of the world and they that dwell therein. To sing a psalm, you need both a chant and a psalter. The psalter contains the pointed text or pointing. It may also contain chants. The pointing shows you how the words fit to the chant, or how the chant fits to the words, if you prefer. It does this by showing where the bar lines in the chant occur, so that you know when to move to the next note. The Oxford Psalter, which I used as a chorister so I prefer it, shows the bar lines as lines. I'll sing this verse again, then you join in the second time when I give you a cue. The earth is the Lord's and all that therein is, the compass of the world and they that dwell therein. Here we go. The earth is the Lord's and all that therein is, the compass of the world and they that dwell therein. Many choir directors will have their own preference about speed and style, but the general idea is to let the words flow. In the example we are using, there are 2 syllables between each pair of bar lines, so it is important not to give them equal weight. Also, dwell therein needs to be shaped with a slight lean on dwell. Here is the same verse sung badly. The earth is the Lord's and all that therein is, the compass of the world and they that dwell therein. The problem with that version was that the minims were far too long and they need to flow rather more than that. Over time, you will get used to the addition of the psalter which is used in your church or choir. In fact, there have been many such publications and each can have the words distributed in a different way. The parish psalter distributes the words of this verse in a different way to the Oxford Psalter, and it does not split the line at the colon, that is after the 4th note. It also uses heavy italic apostrophes for the bar lines. The earth is the Lord's and all that therein is, the compass of the world and they that dwell therein. Just so you know, the old cathedral psalter looks different again, but you do not need to worry about this. It had dynamics, an asterisk to tell you to take a breath, and quasi-French accents on some words to suggest that you should lean on them. I do not find it very user-friendly. The earth is the Lord's and all that therein is, the compass of the world and they that dwell therein. Notice that dwell therein, the pointing is not as desirable as the earlier version, dwell therein. The art of singing psalms relies upon everyone in a choir understanding the style their conductor prefers. This is accomplished by frequent repetition and forming good habits. This video is an introduction to the basics of the style. These basics have changed from decade to decade and place to place, but you will get to know good psalm singing when you hear it. I will put some links to good psalm singing in the text below the video. Let's look at Psalm 23 using the chant we already know. Here is the text in both the Oxford and Parish Psalter styles. The pointing is the same for verse 1 in both psalters. The Lord is my shepherd, therefore can I lack nothing. Here, because lack is inside two bar lines, it receives both the notes in that bar. The Oxford pointing shows you this with a horizontal line, but it is something you will do automatically before long. In verse 2, the Oxford extended line crops up again after green, but we have a 3-syllable issue to deal with for waters of. The usual convention is that you allocate 2 syllables to the first note and 1 syllable to the second. However, this is not true in all cases and with all choir directors. He shall feed me in a green pasture, and lead me forth beside the waters of comfort. So notice how we shade off the end of a verse. And lead me forth beside the waters of comfort. Not waters of comfort. The Oxford Psalter also places a triplet sign over waters of, which does help, and the extra dot shows where the change of note occurs. If you're using the Parish Psalter, you could mark dots in with a pencil, if you're allowed. Again, you will just get used to it. But a dot can be helpful if the 3 syllables are split 1 and 2 rather than 2 and 1. Here is verse 3. He shall convert my soul, and bring me forth in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. That was the Oxford version, and now for the Parish Psalter version. He shall convert my soul, and bring me forth in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. From this point forwards, I'm going to stick to the bold apostrophes because I am making this video for a choir which is using those, although not necessarily the Parish Psalter pointing. Here's verse 4. Now verse 4 has some long reciting notes and there are some commas, so your conductor will tell you where to breathe. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Alternatively, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. So in verse 4, with the long reciting notes, some psalters will mark in their breath after death with an asterisk. Your conductor may want it sung without a break. He will tell you. If he doesn't, ask. On the red words, rod and get a note, and thy gets the other note. If you have a psalter, work out verses 5 and 6 yourself. Next, a few general points. In a church setting, the chant is usually played over in full before the psalm, especially if the congregation is expected to sing, although oddly they seldom have the pointing in front of them. In a cathedral, the organ will hold down the first chord and the conductor will bring you in. In the next video, we will move on to double chants and consider the Gloria. Let's end with a bit of fun. First, a new chant, which we will sing to numbers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When choirs visit cathedrals to sing evensong, they are expected to sing the psalms, so they must understand Anglican chant. Choirs usually have all 4 voice parts: soprano, alto, tenor and bass. The singers are divided into 2 equal teams, commonly referred to as deck and can. This means that when using a double chant, the first part is sung by one of the sides, and the other side sings the second part. If that arrangement is used, the singing is said to be antiphonal, but some choirs just sit differently and have the altos and basses facing the other two parts, and everyone will sing all of the verses. Thank you for watching this video. Please remember to like and subscribe.